For more than a year, residents in some of San Diego's most heavily policed neighborhoods have been telling City Hall police racial profiling happens in San Diego. Maria Morales is one of them. She says she has no doubt that what she and her boyfriend experienced at a trolley stop was racial profiling.
We have tattoos and we're colored people, and there was, a white couple and another man that was colored with tattoos. And they harassed him. They were like, are you on parole or probation? That was the first question we heard, and I already knew. Thank goodness I'm educated to be able to be aware of these things. But they totally bypassed the white couple and then came up to us, and I already knew what to expect.
Morales says the officers asked whether she was on probation or parole.
Just because I have tattoos and because I have long dark hair and a colored skin or a certain look, that means you know nothing about me. I've never been to prison in my life. And for you to automatically assume that, it's a shaming feeling, and I refuse to live like that anymore.
But this and hundreds of similar anecdotes haven't convinced elected officials or police brass that racial profiling is a reality for the department. Instead, they've acknowledged the community's belief that profiling happens.
The message has been sent. It's very clear that members of the community have this belief that they are being targeted. And so I think the chief and the command staff are now more aware of that, more sensitive to it. So hopefully we'll see some changes if indeed some officers are profiling.
As the city's public safety chair, Councilwoman Marty Emerald has been on the receiving end of most of that testimony.
It's humiliating for that same kind of treatment.
Earlier this year, she asked a San Diego State research team to take a look at the police department's traffic stop data to gauge where the department falls between belief and reality. Morales says she's confident the findings will fall in line with her experiences.
And if a majority of people are being pulled over are Black and Latinos, there is a consistency behind that, and the numbers do not lie.
So this is the driver race column. W we've coded for white drivers.
But criminologist Joshua Channon says numbers can be misleading. He says you can't just compare traffic stops to census data to figure out if people of color are being stopped more often than others. That's what SDPD has been doing with its limited resources.
This isn't the most accurate assessment of those people that are driving. There's a distinct difference between the driving population and the residency.
Researchers call this the denominator issue. Not everyone in a given area is old enough to drive or has a car, and San Diego's proximity to the border and its tourism draw mean the driving population is constantly in flux. So, when the share of Black drivers stopped by police is higher than the share of Black residents, it certainly looks like racial profiling, but it can't prove racial profiling. For that, researchers need a better denominator.
We plan on using a fairly new statistical technique called the veil of darkness technique. And what this technique does is it uses natural changes in light to isolate the effect of race on the likelihood that a driver will be stopped.
So let's break that down. The veil of darkness assumes two things. First, that it's more or less the same people driving on a given street at 5:30 in the evening. They're coming home from a 9 to 5 or heading out for the night shift. Second, it assumes that an officer can better observe a driver's skin color when the sun is up. So, researchers can compare traffic stop data from around 5:30 in July when it's light out to 5:30 in January when it's dark. If more people of color are pulled over in that area during the summer, one can assume race is at play.
I don't know whether the veil of darkness is going to solve all the problems here, but I think it's one of the best things out there.
We spoke with Greg Ridgway over Skype. He co-created the Veil of Darkness while studying racial profiling for the RAND Corporation. It's since guided public policy in 5 cities, including Oakland and Cincinnati.
It really gets at just simply the direct question, does the ability to see the race of the driver in advance influence which drivers the officers are going to stop? And that really gets a lot closer to the key question of racial profiling.
Shannon's group will also study whether people of color are more likely to get a ticket or be searched after they're pulled over, and he'll include interviews with community members and police officers. Emerald says the city will act if the study confirms what residents have been saying.
It's a big if, and maybe the study will show that some improvements are needed. If so, I think that our police chief is ready, willing, and able to do something about it.
Maria Morales says she wishes her voice were proof enough, but she welcomes the study.
I think we're kind of like just desperate. Kind of like, just give us something that will support what we're already saying.
The study results will come in 3 phases. The first is expected in late October. Megan Burks, KPBS News.